Howdy folks. So today we're out on another walking adventure. We're in the Nisqually State Park, just in the shadow of Mount Rainier. This is land that was set aside by the Nisqually tribe of Indians. It's one of their many reserves that they have here in Washington State. It's a way of giving back to the land and trying to preserve the nature. It's a beautiful trail, having a great time. I thought it would be a great opportunity to talk about the 7 basic principles of leave no trace. I know you hear it a lot. Everybody says, leave no trace when you're hiking, leave no trace when you're camping. But what does that actually mean? Well, let me try and get up this hill, then we'll get into it a little bit more. So the principles of leave no trace are just that. It's principles. There's no hard, fast rules. There's no obligations. It's more of a set of examples and basic guidelines to try and help us be better stewards of our area, protect the trails, protect nature in general, and try and help ensure that it's there for future generations to enjoy as much as we enjoy it. In reality, leave no trace is a pretty basic thing. It can all be summed up with one simple thing, and that's make it a little bit better than you found it. Right? Wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, let's try and focus on making it just a little bit better than when we first got there. And at the end of the day, we're all going to have a much better time. Step 1. You're going to plan your trip. Seems pretty simple, doesn't it? It's the one thing that a lot of us fail to do, though. You want to do your research before you head out on your adventures. You're going to consult local guidebooks, look at maps, trail maps. There's all kinds of online accesses that people have with hiking guides and blog posts, national parks and forests. But do your research and try and get to know a little bit more about the trail you plan on hiking or the park you plan on visiting. Are there going to be basic facilities there? Is there water? Are there bathrooms available? If not, what are the rules? Can you dig a cat hole, or do you need to be on a pack it in, pack it out, even for your personal waste? Then we want to look and make sure, are there going to be garbage facilities, or do we need to also prepare to bring out all of our trash? It's critically important that you do a little bit of research, plan that adventure in advance, then you won't have any surprises when you get out on the trail. 2. Always travel on durable surfaces. Sounds a little strange, but basically what that means is keep to the trail. Minimizing our impact on the ground we're walking on is a great way of maintaining the natural plant life in the area. If there's a trail, you want to stick to that trail. Avoid cutting around switchbacks and taking shortcuts. Stick to the solid areas. This also includes when you're camping. So if you're doing it overnight, make sure you're placing your camp in an area that's designated for camping. If you're out bushwhacking, meaning you're not on an actual active trail, and you're in a bigger party, you want to spread out that group so that you're not walking in a straight line. By doing this, it's going to give the local plant life a better opportunity for bouncing back up and getting back to its full healthy state. 3. Dispose of your waste. And I'm not talking about just trash. I mean your personal waste also. So a lot of the trails you find yourself on, there won't necessarily be bathroom facilities, which means we're going to need to do the responsible thing. We need to step off trail a few hundred feet, avoid water sources, and you're going to dig a cat hole. Take care of your business, fill that cat hole back in if you're using toilet papers, and it's a good practice to bring that paper back out with you. It's pretty simple. You just keep a Ziploc bag in your backpack, toss that tissue in the bag, zip it up, store it in an outside pocket to dispose of when you get home. I've always tried to make it a general rule that when I'm out on trail, if I find garbage or debris, take a couple of minutes to stop and pick it up. It's the responsible thing to do, and it makes it a better experience for the next person. Alright folks, before we get too far along, here's the shameless plug that I never do and I need to get better at doing more often. If you enjoy this video, if you like the content that I'm putting out, give it a like, maybe hit a subscribe button, or give me some comments below. Just let me know what you like and what you don't like, and I'll try and put together some better videos in the future. Thank you so much. The support is greatly appreciated. Step number 4, leave only footprints. What that means is, try not to take souvenirs, right? Many times when we're out, you might find a rock that looks pretty neat, or a stick that you find interesting, some flowers in a field. Try and avoid that temptation of picking the flowers or disturbing the rocks and the sticks. Instead, take some pictures. Let nature stay in nature. Step number 5, minimize your campfire impact. I'm certainly not one to object to sitting by a campfire after a nice day out hiking. It's not much better than the crackle of the wood burning and the smell of the smoke in the air. But it's also important, though, that we understand that that fire has consequences. Keep your fires small. Keep your fires contained. And this time of year, particularly here in Washington State, we actually have a burn ban in place because the wildfires are at their most extreme danger this time of year, which means there are no open fires allowed in the parks. Part of planning your hike is understanding what can you and can't you do. So I like to always bring a little cook set with me. It's going to give me a chance to warm up my food in the event that I can't do a fire. So if you do decide to have a campfire, and it's allowed where you're hiking, good practice to only pick up sticks that are already on the ground. Good rule of thumb is to only pick up sticks and branches that are no longer than the length of your elbow to your wrist. Those are the small branches and twigs that have already fallen. Make sure they're dead. Never, never break a branch off of a tree. Even if it looks like it's dead, you don't know what's running through those veins. So as long as we're responsible with our fires, it's okay to have one. Once you're done with your campfire, you want to make sure it's completely out. You're going to pour water over any potential embers. It's got to be cool to the touch before you know it's safe to leave. Once you've ensured your fire is completely out, best practice is to take those embers and you're going to scatter them throughout the area so that you don't have a concentration of coal. This allows them a better opportunity to continue decomposing. Anytime you come across an existing fire ring, it's a great opportunity to continue using that one, and it helps you minimize your impact. Step number 6, respect wildlife. I know it's amazing to see animals when you're out on your hike, and it's a fantastic gift that we don't all get the opportunity to, and we should certainly embrace that gift when we have it. But it's always good to respect the animals, understand that you're in their neighborhood, and by being in their neighborhood, you need to show them the respect that's due. Maintain a couple 100 yards distance, look from a distance, observe them, but try not to engage. You should also note that no matter how tempting it is to feed a squirrel or a bird or whatever critter might be coming around your campsite, don't do it. Because not only are you doing the animal a disjustice, because they're starting to learn the taste of human food and potentially develop a dependency on us, but you're also telling them that if they get hungry, all they have to do is find a hiker or a campsite. The last thing we want to do is start training the bears to come into our tents any more than they already do. So respect nature, respect the animals, respect their space, and they'll respect you. Tip number 7. Treat other hikers with respect. Could be summed up with the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The basic idea behind it is we're all out there to have an amazing experience in nature. So try not to ruin it for each other. Don't be that guy blasting your music from a portable speaker hooked to your backpack. If you've got pets with you, make sure your pets are trained well enough to stay by your side and they're not going to chase after other hikers. But just above all else, do what you can to make it a better day. Always remember to tip your hat and say hello to a passing hiker. It's not only a way of showing respect, but it's also a way of saying, nice to see you and I'm glad you're out here. So no, there are no actual rules for Leave No Trace. They are guiding principles and best practices. So let's try and use them as a best practice. And at the end of the day, let's try and leave the trail a little bit better than we found it. And let's have an amazing adventure in the process. I'll do my part if you do your part. Until next time, folks, let's keep walking.